Hey everybody, and welcome back to a 10-Minute Marvel. I'm Petter, and, well, happy Agatha All Along finale day. I wasn't planning on doing any videos on Agatha All Along today because I've already kind of broken down some of what I think is going to happen. You can check out that video. I put it out last Thursday after the end of Agatha All Along episode 7. Me having watched that. But then Marvel said, hey, here's just one final tease. Here's one final tease, one scene that it's interesting. It is very intriguing because it is Agatha and Rio talking. Or death, I should say, talking. And the dialogue here makes me wonder about a couple different things. The first one, well, let's talk about what the dialogue is. Basically, we have Agatha and Rio talking. Rio basically being like, hey, you got a deal that nobody else ever did. You got a deal that no one has ever gotten before, yet you're not happy about it. Kind of. I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to. And Agatha shoots back like, yeah, no, basically you gave me a deal, but it was a ride. It was not a good deal for me. To which Rio kind of shoots back, well, why don't you tell him about what happened to Nikki? Why don't you tell him about what happened to Nicholas Scratch? So I think all of this scene, this is going to be an episode 8 scene. I think this is going to be part of how we understand what has happened between Rio and Agatha. We're going to get flashbacks. We're going to get some of this exposition along the road, and we're going to kind of get this clash between the two. I don't know that they're actually going to fight necessarily, but they are going to be going against each other. And what is Rio talking about here? I think that this may be a situation about how Agatha gets her powers. How she drains her powers from everyone else, and that originally she got that ability from Rio. She made a deal with death basically to avoid death. Agatha, when she drains powers, it allows her to extend her life. Now, witches seem to be able to do that naturally. I believe, Jennifer Kale has been around for a long time. Lilia Calderu was around for 450 years. But, kind of, how is Agatha doing it? I think it's because she made this deal. She gets the powers. She gets kind of this life force, this essence. And it's a deal with death because Rio gets the bodies. And I suspect, I'm wondering if I actually was right with one of my guesses here, where since it's involuntary, or at least she says it is, Agatha says it is, maybe it is confirmed to be involuntary. Like, death doesn't want Agatha to be able to go back on her deal, basically. So how do you make sure that Agatha doesn't go back on her deal? Well, now Agatha doesn't actually have control over the power. It's whenever she gets blasted by power, she drains the life force, the power, that from others. And this could even lean into another theory as well. So the two theories it can lean into are, firstly, that Nicholas Scratch had magical abilities, which in the comics he does. So if he blasts Agatha, for whatever reason, even if it's just messing around, something like that, the powers hit Agatha, she drains the life force, the powers from Nicholas Scratch, killing him. Because the deal is, Agatha gets power, Death gets bodies. And that would explain why they had this relationship previously, but now Agatha dislikes Rio. And it might be something that's even a little bit blocked, a little bit fuzzy in Agatha's head, just from how they're kind of playing this out. But that's just a nice kind of twist. It's that situation where you don't make a deal with the devil. You don't make a deal with somebody, Death in this case, for something because they're going to make it work for you. In terms of other things like Baldur's Gate 3, you don't make a warlock pact with a demon or devil. So you see this very consistently, or with Jinn in fairy tales, Genie in fairy tales. Oftentimes, they will respond to the letter of the law with what you said or twisted. The monkey's paw is another example of this. So I think that Agatha made this deal. She desired immortality. Basically, she didn't want to die. And so, she got powers, and Death got bodies. Until it was the body that she didn't want to give up. And I think it's possible that she has gone down the witch's road than before. Because she's trying to break the deal with Death. She's trying to find some way to do that. And I don't know that she succeeded going down the witch's road and dealing with the trials. I think she was just able to get off the witch's road. So she has been down here once before, and maybe even got a partial success. Maybe was able to wrestle Nicholas Scratch's soul away from wherever it has been bound. But of course, that then just leaves a soul in limbo. And it's just floating around, possibly in a rabbit. And obviously being able to be contacted by the board, the Ouija board. So I think at the end here, we are going to get this moment. And how it will play out, I think there's a big kind of range that it could happen. But I think that Agatha is going to have to make a choice. She's going to have to make a choice to save the teen, to save Wiccan, to do what she couldn't. And when Death comes for Wiccan, she is going to intervene. She is going to step between. And I don't know how they're going to play it out. It is possible that Agatha will have her kind of redeeming moment and sacrifice her life. Maybe becoming a spirit on the witch's road to help other witches. Or it might be something where she has to use her greatest desire changes for the end of the witch's road. There's been some talk about like it's a wish. No, it's the greatest desire. It's what the witch truly wants. So like to gain powers back, to be rid of the demon, to understand kind of their life. We got to see all those different things start to unfold. Jennifer Kale still has to lean into getting her powers back, but we've seen that start to unfold for every single character. And so I wonder if Agatha, what she maybe wants is to be able to die, is to be able to say in the end, it's done. Or it might still be that she wants Nicholas Scratch back, or it might be that she wants revenge on death. Because I could see that happening as she starts to unfold and remember her history, where she now wants revenge on death, and so something happens to the teen, to Billy, to Wiccan, and she's able to use that greatest desire to save him and to cheat death. But it's going to cost her, and it's going to allow her to kind of finally release her need, her desire, her obsession to get Nicholas Scratch back. Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comment section below. Have you seen this clip? What are you anticipating may happen in the finale of Agatha All Along? If you enjoyed this content, please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. I will have, I'm sure, a number of videos out on Agatha All Along finale tomorrow, as well as then this upcoming week's podcast is going to be about the finale of Agatha All Along, plus all the news that Marvel just dropped yesterday. So be on the lookout for that. You can find it here on YouTube. Click onto the channel, subscribe if you haven't already, and then click on the podcast tab, or you can get the podcast wherever you get your friendly neighborhood podcasts from. But with that, we'll see you next time.